You hate to see it, working so hard in a game until finally you're overwhelmed and your life bar, which you tried so hard to keep from depleting, finally gets snuffed out, following with a game over screen. For some it might be the first time they've seen it, but for others they may be all too familiar with seeing a particular flash of the words game over. But not all game over screens are created equal. While some may get to the point, others might just have a little more to say than you'd think, showing that things aren't quite over just yet. And here are 10 of those game over screens with chilling implications. Number 10. Metroid Prime. The Metroid series has always boasted some impressive game over screens, the 2D versions usually having Samus's armor break off due to the excessive damage. But the first person series that was Metroid Prime had a different idea. Instead of the suit being torn off, the developers thought that it might be more impressive and more chilling to have the suit tell you what was failing. With Samus' last scream, you see that the life support system gives out, and if by some chance she's still alive, the crack on her helmet will surely expose her to the alien planet she's currently stationed in. Number 9. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy has your usual rundown of generic game over screens, but with the inclusion of 7, 8, and 9, the ending screens got a little bit more complex. We've all faced our demise at the hands of Ruby Weapon or another boss we may have underestimated. But if you allow yourself to take a closer look at what comes after, you may realize what you lose is more than just your characters. Final Fantasy VII displays a film strip of Midgar, slowly but surely getting ripped up and barely visible, which seems to imply that we've not only doomed ourselves, but the fate of Midgar and the world itself, only to be accompanied with soft, calming music that further cement that it's all over now. Number 8. Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Our protagonist Link has had more adventures than we can count using both hands, but with so many adventures, failure is bound to happen, if the official timeline is any indication. But Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask gives you a little more in the game over screen department. If you happen to run down the 3-day time limit in Majora's Mask, you're treated with an extra cinematic of just how much you failed, with our young hero looking on at the destruction before him before getting wiped out himself. If that weren't bad enough, text from the Happy Mask salesman reading "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" follows shortly after, and it kinda feels like our masked salesman might have seen this coming. Number 7. Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill in its gameplay and its narrative seems like one big game over waiting to happen, but even dying in game isn't enough when it comes to Silent Hill 3. Later in the game, we see protagonist Heather Mason get dragged away when meeting her end by the creature known as Vadiel. Sorry if I butchered that. This implies that she is going to be used for the resurrection and birth of the unborn god, which the Order had claimed was resting within her. Even in death, her suffering is not over yet. Number 6. Final Fight. The heroes of Final Fight probably knew the risk when they were trying to protect Metro City, but even they may not have predicted that getting roughed up would be the worst of their problems. No, if getting ganged up by multiple opponents wasn't enough, the villains of Metro City want to make sure they finish the job, and in doing so, want to make sure the heroes know their time has come. With the continue screen, your only hope of saving them, having no more continue spells out their last moments, and if this ending scene wasn't brutal enough, this tradition would continue in later Final Fight installments. Number 5. Chrono Cross. I love Chrono Cross, with its huge array of characters, fun battle system, and interesting plot. The main theme of Chrono Cross is to tempt and stand against fate, but if you find yourself at a loss, you may find the game trying to teach you a lesson. With the last text scrolling on screen, the message seems to imply that no matter what you do, fate won't let you change destiny. No matter what you do, you're doomed to fail. Fate has no forgiveness for those who dare stand against it. Number 4. Arkham Asylum. Batman has had a lot of adventures to say the least, but his long night at Arkham Asylum will go down in history. That is, if you manage to make it out alive. Those of us who failed time and time again got a glimpse of what was to come. In the same vein as Heather from Silent Hill, our Bats has 2 outcomes given the narration. He has either already succumbed to his injuries, leaving Gotham to its fate, or he's merely unconscious and the worst is yet to come for our Caped Crusader. Let's just hope his antagonists have a shred of mercy for him.
You failed. Now suffer.
Number 3. Dead Space. Isaac may have never expected becoming an engineer would come with so much baggage. His trek through the Ishimura sees him faced with deadly beings known as necromorphs. While encounters with these foes can lead to a multitude of deaths, some creatures have other ideas. One creature in particular only needs to remove Isaac's head from his body to seize control of his limbs for himself. While this is a game over for us and for Isaac, the Isaac as we know him takes a whole new form. Number 2. Indigo Prophecy. I can probably think of 1 or 2 people that actually played Indigo Prophecy. While not the best received game ever, Indigo Prophecy would offer a unique way of storytelling. Storytelling that could end as quickly as it began. Game overs are abundant in this story, as failing to do the right thing at the right time, like getting caught with his body in the bathroom, stops your story before even giving you a chance to learn anything grander, leaving you at the mercy to all that was supposed to come next. And number 1. Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. While this can't be disputed that this is more of a bad ending than a game over, I think its importance is worth noting. Phoenix is given one final chance to submit some decisive evidence that would not only find his defendant he thought to be innocent guilty, but would also free Maya from the hostage situation she finds herself in. Submitting anything other than the last evidence you're given results in you winning the case, but ultimately letting the bad guy off the hook. Doing this results in Phoenix leaving the life of an attorney and halting any cases that would take place in the future. And those were 10 bad endings with chilling implications. Hopefully you agree with the list, but if I missed any, be sure to let me know. If you like my video, show it with a thumbs up, and if you're new, consider subscribing. As always, have a great day, stay safe, and keep it practical.